The beautiful Wasatch Mountains here in Provo, Utah set the backdrop for NCAA Division I Rugby from Provo, Utah, and historic Southfield on the campus of Brigham Young University. Good afternoon, I'm Jared Banks alongside Tosh Wilcox in a Division I matchup that has all of the makings of an epic battle. This is a formidable destination, but a formidable opponent arrives with playoff pictures starting to take shape. Tosh, this has all the pinnings of a clash of the Titans. What do you expect today?
Yeah, so we're expecting a lot of running rugby. Both teams like to get into space, use lots of offloads, and the past several years of this matchup have had really high scores, so it should be a really fun, really exciting game.
No less than 6 players between these two teams feature in the Under-20s international program with head coach Scott Lawrence looking forward to the World Cup. The future stars of rugby are here on Southfield in Provo as the BYU Cougars take on the St. Mary's Gales. We will be on the way next with your keys to the match, your starting lineups, and kickoff on the Rugby Network.
We're working on a BYU engineering outreach project. In Ecuador, they have prosthetic clinics, but it's really expensive. We wanted to create a process where they could make their own prosthetics.
It was incredibly motivating for our entire team to know that this would go to people not able to provide for a prosthetic.
BYU has changed my life by giving me an education that brings me closer to God. The things that we're learning can so directly help others and improve the world.
At St. Mary's, we inspire minds, engage hearts, and transform lives. With small class sizes and professors who know you by name, we inspire our students to thrive. We engage and build connections, knowledge, and skills. Explore boundless opportunities and one-of-a-kind study programs that launch careers. Transform, discover, and make a lasting impact. We are Gales.
He's going in for the drive. Fakes everyone out.
This is the one.
These are the best teams in the country.
It is going to be a barn burner.
This is the one. It's the national championships. It's the top teams.
Will she get this one? And yes, she will. Can't be stopped. This is the one. Is she in? Yes, she is. I'm a legend.
Pandemonium on the field.
Today's match is brought to you by 8x8 Sports, the presenting sponsor and official apparel partner of the College Rugby Association of America. 8x8 Sports, we move you forward. USA Rugby is proud to partner with the College Rugby Association of America for the 2023-2024 academic year. With future USA Eagles taking the pitch today, we are pleased to support this experience for all student athletes. Learn more about the USA Eagles and how you can get involved with USA Rugby. The stage is set here on Southfield in Provo, Utah. BYU Cougars taking on the St. Mary's Gales. NCAA Division I action. We are ready to go. Both of these teams' warm-ups done now. All business. I am Jared Banks alongside Tosh Wilcox. Tosh, opening kickoff here and an intense first 20 minutes expected.
Yeah, this is really the time where both teams are going to want to set the tone for the game.
Good first contact taken by BYU inside their 22. They go to the short side. Physical contact from St. Mary's coming up on defense. Clearance kick in on the way. Low driving kick to the far sideline.
Just barely finds touch there.
A useful kick. This is going to be one of the factors here for BYU in that tactical kicking game. Can they manage those moments with the pressure in front of them and their backs to the goal line to be able to ease that attacking, aggressive style that St. Mary's likes to play?
Yeah, exactly. One of the things that BYU does really well is they play with the ball in hand, but you want to do that in the right parts of the field. You know, you want to play when you can, when you have the attacking threat to score some points.
Line out taken by St. Mary's. Big tackle from BYU. Driving backwards, gain line not made. Now they go to the right side, does St. Mary's. A skip pass and a big tackle on the outside. Shaken off by the wing.
Wow, strong carry there to break 3 tackles by the St. Mary's wing.
Sosaya Pongi, I believe, on the outside there. St. Mary's off and running now. Looking for the sideline. St. Mary's still going. There's a gap on the outside. Toya Val with the fend. Short side into the forwards. Crunching tackle from the number 2.
BYU's looking to steal that ball there. Didn't get it on that occasion.
A lot of space on the outside. Running tackle from Dominic Bisak. Watch for number 12 all game long. Got his first cap this year with the U20s international side. Got called up against the game, the international game versus Georgia to get his first international cap. A young gun with a lot of ceiling for growth. St. Mary's throwing the ball around. This BYU defensive line shifting well left to right. Looking for the shake on the inside goes the number 7, Keoshi.
Yeah, St. Mary's opening.
Maybe a knock on there, and it is. Wakavesi, Inoke Wakavesi, the 10, shook one tackle. Got the offload. Here's Wakavesi, the low ball and the knock on as he drops down. It was the number 12, Semu, with the tackle, and now BYU, after 7 different phases of tackle, able to withstand the pressure from St. Mary's going sideline to sideline, and we'll see our first scrum of the match. Both of these teams very physically matched at the scrum size-wise, so it's going to be a technical battle with those front rows, Tosh.
Oh yeah, this is a big statement point of the game, the first scrum, to see which team can get the upper hand in this area.
Referee.
But yeah, like you said, that's a great start of the game for both teams, actually. BYU did well to withstand that pressure. That was not a small amount of phases that they had to hold up to.
Ticking up into those double-digit phases as we get set for the restart. We'll stand by here. Strider Fontaine, the number 9, waits with the ball for BYU, just outside the 22. And again, that's a second drop now. What he's saying there is he's looking for the extended left arm and short right arm of the tight head and loose head props. A bit of a tactical battle here on the engage. If you look at the right side of that BYU scrum on your screen, they'll have to get low flat backs, engage straight with the shoulders, and they're looking for the extended arm from the tight head prop. Now the ball gets in, hooked back. Fontaine has it. Ball goes out, looking for space. Big contact from the number 12, Semu. Semu likes to run straight. Opening up to the wide side of the field. Skip all over the top, there's space. Good sliding defense from St. Mary's now. Quick recycle, Fontaine has it. Gets the hands up, good one-on-one tackle from St. Mary's. Making the gain line though, BYU are moving forward. Forwards in the back line, always fun to see. Shakes one tackle, shakes another.
Oh, looks like St. Mary's has got the steal. Oh no, it's a penalty.
And they'll say not rolling away, bridging there. So if we look at the penalty here in the tackle, the player has to first release the ball and support his own weight. If you look at the player on the ground here, as he puts his hands on the ground and doesn't support his own weight in an attempt to steal the ball, that's where he loses it.
Yeah, that was it right there, that hand on the ground. It's one of those situations where he just almost had it right, just that one hand on the ground. Had that not been there, probably would have got the turnover.
As we take a look at this next line out, let's try and take a look at some of the keys to the game for both of these teams. The line out comes, misplayed off the top, still goes straight though, cleaned up by BYU. Now they're back off and running. It was the number 6, Clark. Now they come short side of the field. There's some bodies there. Gets it away the 8. The lock on the outside. The big second rower rumbling forward. BYU still working. Good line speed from the hooker, Nate Deegan for St. Mary's. Pressure defense is on. Another step off the inside.
The St. Mary's defense is doing well to push them back though.
They're meeting them at the gain line and actually losing possession. A break down the outside for BYU. Mendenhall off the outside. Crash ball over the top. This is what I expected to see from both of these big physical forward packs. In that attacking position, Perry takes a jab step inside. Now the tackle's made, held up, 10 meters out. Looking to shift. Good reset in the middle of the field from BYU, the big front rower. I believe that was Tennant. Semu with another big physical run. Semu been very active in these early minutes. That's a great crash ball to reset, draws the defenders in. Now BYU looks for the space.
Semu again.
That's the 13, Campbell throws the ball away, and that takes a bounce, still in play. Touch judge's flag finally goes up. Frantic moments for the St. Mary's defense as BYU really gets onto the attack. As we look at the offload here, I believe it was from the 13, John Campbell. There it is. Here's the offload to the outside. Takes a bounce. Can't quite get it to the winger Belknap. This is great work. Knowing where the running defense and support is, looking for the numbers behind you, probably heard the call, with you outside, with you outside. Knew his winger was there. Line out set, knocked out of bounds by St. Mary's, so BYU now will look to set up this maul, drive forward, or at least get the defense to roll in. They roll one, still moving forward. That's a big shove. Good work from the BYU forward pack. Digging the ball out. And great tactical work from that St. Mary's forward pack, able to get the maul to the ground, forced BYU to take it to the ground. You can't drag that maul down, Tosh. So let's take a look at our starting lineup here while we get reset for this scrum. Some key players to watch for St. Mary's.
Yeah, so for St. Mary's, we've got on the wing wearing the number 11 jersey today, Toiavao, or Yosefa Toiavao playing on the wing. We've got Dominic Besag playing 12, and on the other wing, Sosia Pongi.
An incredibly potent back line spearheaded by Dominic Besag, who is also their captain. And for BYU, some key players to watch here as well. A big penalty won on the field as the action goes now. For BYU, if we take a look, it's going to be the number 9-10 combination of Fontaine and Perry getting the ball into the hands of Semu. That will be crucial. And a little emotions and tempers flaring over here on the field. If you didn't think this was a rivalry match, that should settle it for you right here. The physicality, the burn, the competitiveness that these athletes have. It means everything to them out here.
Exactly, yeah, a little bit of extras there. Nothing too serious, just a little pushing and shoving just to let your opponent know that you're there.
The penalty called, and it was number 11 right on cue. We said he was going to be one of the emotional leaders of his team. Toiavao comes in, puts a little hit on the number 9 Fontaine, and then the forward pack, the enforcers come in to try and get the attention of everyone. So we get settled down, no real foul play in it, no fisticuffs, no punches thrown. BYU with the line out. They go to the back of the line out. Tall ball taken by the big number 8. Great ball from Ben Austin, the captain, leading up high. Taken down and lost forward on the ground. Another key defensive stop and a handling mistake from BYU.
Yeah, just like BYU defended really well in those opening moments of the game. BYU has had a lot of phases here, a lot of chances to score, and St. Mary's, their defense has held up really well.
It was great work there you see on the replay with that ball being stripped out and forcing the knock-on on the 5-meter line as these teams continue to work hard physically. Here are your keys to the game as we've got a little break in the action here for a trainer to be attended to, maybe a little blood moment from the trainer. For St. Mary's Gales, the keys to the match are?
Yeah, so the first thing they're going to want to do is apply pressure. What St. Mary's does really well is they kick to space. They play really well, smart and territorially. The other thing that they're going to want to do is minimize mistakes.
For BYU, their keys to the match are as follows, Tosh.
So the first thing is the rugby IQ. They want to play in the right parts of the field. They want to be smart in what they're doing and switch off from the attacking mindset to the more tactical side. The mental fitness is also huge. They got to play the full 80 minutes.
We've seen them go 60, 70 minutes sometimes and then have a few mental mistakes and breakdown. We saw it happen at Central Washington that ended up probably costing them that match. They're going to need to play the full 80 here. And a chance now with a big defensive scrum for BYU, for St. Mary's, a chance to now probably get the hands into your back attacking line and maybe get a clearance kick out and ease some of this pressure. They've played with the last probably 7 minutes of this match with their backs against their own goal line, picked by the number 8, and they reset off the back. St. Mary's now, big physical clear out. Here's the clearance kick we're looking for. That ball comes right at us on the near sideline. Takes a bounce near the broadcast booth. So this will be a BYU throw, into this line out, just outside the 22-meter line. So BYU now a chance to go back on the attack.
Yeah, pretty good kick there from St. Mary's, just to relieve a little bit of pressure, give themselves some breathing room, and now they can defend with a little bit more of a margin for error where they don't have to worry about scoring immediately if they give up a little bit of ground.
The coaches in this match crucial. A lot of former Eagles all over the field in both of these coaching staffs, and of course national championships at stake here, and the history of both of these programs have been incredible. The coaching of these teams so top-notch. For St. Mary's and their head coach Tim, he is a tactical genius when it comes to working on the X's and O's of what this team wants to do. So as we get set for the scrum now, with the line out not being straight, the head coach is active on the sidelines as these young men continue to work. Ball taken cleanly now by St. Mary's on the attack. They'll throw the ball around from anywhere. Bisak gets it away.
Great offload.
Continues to work down the outside. That's Toya Vau again. Big contact in the middle. Fontaine making the contact on Matu. Break in the middle, gets the offload away. St. Mary's could be gone. Fullback to beat, the ball gets to the outside. The big fend, that's number 12. The captain, Dominic Bisak, gets taken right at the end. The fullback in contact. Did that ball go backwards? The ball hit the deck. Referee says backwards, and that ball goes over for St. Mary's.
Yeah, desperate defense there for BYU, just not enough. The scramble defense held up for a few phases, but eventually St. Mary's was able to find that space and go over the line.
We said that St. Mary's wanted to throw the ball around sideline to sideline and apply pressure. They were able to manage their pressure moments. If we look at the line break here, the inside ball so deadly. And then the outside, the quick left pass from the number 10, Wakavesi, comes all the way down to number 12. Bisak gets it. The captain with the quick plant on the goal line. The ball comes backwards and bounces out. Referee says play on, and then it's the number 9 again. Hunter Maudlin gets the ball to the outside, and the score with no one marking him. The defense not able to scramble fast enough, and an incredible counter strike from St. Mary's, Tosh.
Yeah, St. Mary's really good with the ball in open space. You saw it a couple times where they would break through the line, commit the defender, make the pass, always moving towards the space. They're so good at that.
Finding the open grass. We always say run to the space, not the face.
Yeah,
in
exactly.
rugby, as you teach kids. The kick is up and good. 7-0 is your score. In the 25th minute, it took almost a full quarter of rugby for us to get the first points on the board in what I thought would be a back and forth shootout. So just 7-0 now as the clock continues to tick away. BYU will restart to St. Mary's. BYU in their traditional blue and white kit, moving right to left on your screen. St. Mary's in their dark red. Ball taken cleanly. Counterattacks to the short side. Now they'll look for more space. Gets the offload away. This is what they do so well with the hands in the back line.
Yeah, that interplay between the forwards is really good.
Starty with the hands outside of Bisak. Another fend. Wakavesi at 10 has been so good at finding the space and putting his players in the right position. Defender not rolling away, says head referee Khalil Harrison, and the penalty is given. A key one for St. Mary's here, and a chance to get out of their own half again. So you must support your own weight. You see the BYU player on the bottom of that ruck, engaged in the tackle. You must tackle there, I believe it was on the number 5, and then roll away. See how he gets stuck in the bottom there and interferes with the play. That's what causes the penalty, and now a big ease of pressure. 30 meters gained on that kick, and St. Mary's with the ball in the lineout. The hooker Deegan waits with the throw. Big contest at the top of that lineout. Great take from the second rower. Wakavesi gets the inside ball. Lost by King Matu. Unable. You feel like he may have had the gap there if he was able to hold on to it. There was a lot of daylight there waiting for him.
I think he did, yeah. Yeah, look at the space. Would have ran right through that gap.
Had an incredible gap there. This BYU coaching staff has been shifted and reformed over the last couple of years. Of course, the heritage and history behind these the two main coaches here for the staff.
Yeah, exactly. Steve St. Pierre and Dave Smith, right here on screen, took over around 2018 and have done a great job. Derek Smith there is one of the best scrum coaches I've seen and has done a really good job with the BYU forwards.
A former USA Eagle, and the experience coming down to BYU with those two at the helm. You have to think that if they continue to be able to teach and develop these young men the way that they have, that return to force that BYU was in the early 2000s to mid 2000s is going to be there for this club and for this school again. Big tackle. Great clean out from BYU though.
Penalty to St. Mary's.
I'm going to say holding on to the ball probably, I believe, there from Khalil Harrison. Not John Wilson. James Tennant, his opposite number, came in on the clean out, but the ball carrier, when the tackle occurs, two things have to happen. The tackler has to first roll away, and then the ball carrier has to release the ball to allow the contest for position to happen. And in that case, the ball carrier held on, and a big clearance kick off of the penalty for St. Mary's. This is a huge shift in momentum. We said manage those moments and continue to apply pressure. St. Mary's doing it really well right now.
Yeah, exactly, and I think they're definitely winning the penalty count as well, which helps to get yourself into your own side of the field.
It's a bit of a cliche when we talk about minimizing those mistakes taken clean by the second rower, Delzell. Now the maul forms. Smart to play this even this far out. Bisag now with it. Ball in both hands. Looking for the space, shakes one tackle, finds it, another contact taken. Maudlin looking for the space on the outside. Offload's coming, ball's lost on the turf. Play on, advantage being played. None gained, so we'll come back to the knock-on. I think St. Mary's getting a little too excited. They didn't need to force the issue there. When you've got the space, it was the big step from the number 7, Keoshi. And then the offload right there, trying to find the second rower. That was Delzell again getting involved. Too much physicality in the contact. If they had just reset in that situation and probably gone for another 2 or 3 phases, that space probably would have opened up for them on the outside, Tosh.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. Just trying to do a little bit too much. Offloading there, trying to keep the ball moving. You know, when you're in the moment, you just want to go for it. But yeah, you know, had they reset, you know, they were making good ground, they probably would have had a good outcome.
Scrum won by BYU. Big shake. Fullback gets the offload away. Good interplay there between Belknap and Hammer. In talking with Dave Smith before the game, he said that Taysom Hammer has been an absolute workhorse. He's one of the most consistent players on the team and does everything that his squad needs for him to do. In the right place to make that offload, but it was just a smart play with the timing on the jackal from the number 8, King Matsu, for St. Mary's. As the ball carrier goes down, he's holding his own weight, goes in for the ball cleanly on the contest and wins the penalty. A great jackal from the loose forward.
Yeah, that was really nice. Just the BYU rucker is a little bit slow to that ruck, which gave him the daylight and the time to get in there and get his hands on that ball.
Line out now for St. Mary's, taken tall by Delzell. The maul is set. They want to put a big drive in here, just 5 meters out. There's one movement. Ball goes for a second movement. Does he get the ball down in the try zone? He does. A clinical forwards try, just as you draw it up. A classic line out, maul, and score. And St. Mary's are back on the board again. If you look at the first effort here, ball is taken back, and it's this push right here that gets him over the line. Standing over the top of it is the number 14, the winger. Belknap can't do anything about it. And then the emotion. Tell me it doesn't mean more to these guys. All power, all poise. Right when we said they needed a little patience, they showed us the patience in allowing that maul to build up, Tosh.
Yeah, exactly. Really smart to go to the maul and then to keep it there. Like you said, the patience just to keep driving forward, pushing over the line. BYU tried to hold him up there, but just couldn't do it. Just didn't have the numbers at that point. Really good try there by St. Mary's.
Conversion still to come. 12-0 is the score with the 2 points on standby. Starty waits over at the fullback with the kicking duties today. There's a pause and a hush falls over the crowd here in BYU. In the shadow of the mountains here, a few clouds blocking out the sun. A perfect day for some springtime rugby. That kick is up and no good. Just missed the left upright. It looked from my angle like it maybe went right over the top of that left upright.
I thought he had it too.
It was a really good effort from a wide angle on the outside. So now 12-0 as it stands with the misconversion, and BYU will need to answer here. When we talk about the rugby IQ, what is your response now? You're down 2 scores. You're halfway through the first half of rugby. What are you doing to marshal your team, Tosh, especially in your position historically where you've played a lot of 9 and you're in a controlling stake to marshal your team into a position to respond?
Yeah, there's a couple things. You got to respond well, but at the same time, you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself and force an issue. You know, you don't want to compound your errors. They've made a few penalties, and you don't want to try to put too much pressure on yourself and force anything that'll just cause more errors. So they gotta know that they've got to respond, but also be calm and patient with it as well.
Something as simple as getting your line-out ball in clean, which they miscued there. Lucky to get the knock-on right on midway with the St. Mary's players shooting through the gap. So now a scrum. I feel like Utah been better at the scrum than they have at the line-out. A few miscues and a few misplays for BYU. They have some tall targets in the line-out, so really not typical of what they can do at the line-out.
Yeah, the scrum's been generally good, but yeah, those lineouts, if they're going to want to get back to putting some pressure on St. Mary's, that's something that they're going to have to work through.
You have to protect your own possession. The lineouts and the scrums are key. An attacking position now, though, with the scrum to the far side of the field as we look at it, and that's a big shove from St. Mary's. The counter ball is on. BYU able to get it out. To the 12. Semu gets it. Clean ball. Picked up now. Fontaine works the ball to the short side of the field. They continue to look for space. Remember, this build-up started right at midway. The captain, Big Ben.
You can see St. Mary's looking for those steals.
Ball comes out. There's a bit of space. Can he draw the defenders in? Has it on the outside. Good clean run from Belknap. Don't do too much with it. Big counter ruck was on. Now the interplay with the forwards. Mendenhall gets it to the outside. There's a gap there. Can they get the offload away? BYU has a bit of space now. Working the ball off, and that's lost. And that may be an intentional knock on here as we look at the replay. Reaches across, the ball on the inside, and it is number 12, Dominic Bisag. As we look here, you cannot intentionally bat the ball to the ground. Maybe lucky to get away with one there. That could have been a yellow card, and he could have been sent off for 10 minutes with the intentional knock-on. Instead, just given the penalty and the warning. That ball does not find touch, so another miscue for BYU. And they'll put this right back to the bleacher side of the stadium here at Southfield in BYU. So right back almost to the initial spot of the penalty, and BYU with a chance now for a line out.
Yeah, exactly. Almost like it never happened.
We talk about minimizing mistakes. Finding touch on your kicks, one of those fundamental things that has to happen. That would have put BYU in an attacking position at the 22. Now they're near halfway, still with the line out, but you got to think missed opportunity for BYU mentally.
Exactly, yeah, and this is one of those things where you don't want to put too much pressure on yourself. You just, when you're kicking for touch, you got to make sure it gets out.
And a not straight line out throw. Again, going back to the fundamentals, BYU not able to execute on their line out. Ben Austin was the target. The captain went up high and was able to take it. But when it's thrown directly to him and not down the center of the channel in the line out, St. Mary's now reverses the momentum and are able to go on the attack again with a scrum.
Yeah, they're really just giving away the ball at this point.
BYU has been good when they've been able to maintain possessions, and not even a lot. 3, 4, 5 phases of possession have been good enough. St. Mary's, though, have had the lion's share of the ball. Skip pass to the outside. Big fend from the 13, Stardy.
Nice tackle.
Ball gets away still. Finds the inside. Goes to the forwards, the 4-on-4. That's Delzell getting tackled by Clintworth. They come back to the short side. Wakavesi with the shake. Wakavesi been so elusive in this game. Now resets. Stolen by BYU. And they're going to say he was bridging as well in that situation. Vaitohi looked to be in a good position, but the fundamental mistake here is that you must support your own weight. The timing on this ball right there where the hands go to the ground in the bridging as he went over the top of it.
Yeah, this is exactly what we saw earlier in the game. where there's a penalty on St. Mary's for putting hands on the ground. You got to go directly to the ball. You can't be holding yourself up on the ground.
We used to call it bridging, but now hands on the ground or hands in the ruck is what they call it anymore. So now a line out off of another error from BYU, and St. Mary's in the attacking position. Stolen by BYU. Big, crucial win on the defensive lock. That was Jake Barker high in the air. Read well by the BYU defense. Vaitohi now with the drive forward. 10 meters out of his own line, out of the touch zone, and the driving kick from Perry. Takes a fortunate bounce, and that's a great clearance kick from Perry. Just inside of halfway.
By BYU will be a line out to St. Mary's.
So moment managed there a little bit, Tosh.
Yeah.
You get the big steal at the line out, you get the big clearance kick. Now you really, with 12 and a half minutes here gone, or to play still in the half, you need to find some way to get points on the board if you're BYU. For St. Mary's, this is a chance to really put your foot on the gas. With the ball in hand right now, can they get some space? It's all come through Bisag and Wakavesi. Wakavesi with it again now. Finds the inside ball. Toya Val gets the ball away. Has one to beat, and it's Keoshi. Great interplay. That inside ball worked for them on the opening score, and it does again. The gift, I will call it, maybe a little prophetic. Wakavesi with the inside ball right there to Toya Val. And then the break to the right side with Keoshi running a great forward support line, the quick little fend, and the finish with the conversion still to come. A clinical, absolutely clinical attack. They called that inside ball the whole time. The reaction there, that's exactly what you want if you are St. Mary's in this position on the road. A tough opponent. You are so far away from your home and friends in California, and you want to make a statement to all of the NCAA that you're coming for the ship this year. This is the way you do it. Up 17-0 at BYU on Southfield in Provo, as this kick looks up towards the mountains from almost right in front of the sticks. A real favorable angle for the number 15 Starty. Mario Starty has only missed one so far. He is 2 for 3, and that is good. With just 11 minutes and some change left to play in this first half, it's been all St. Mary's.
Yeah, it really has. We've said it before, but yeah, just a really textbook score from St. Mary's, just like they drew it up. And they're so good with those supporting runners and putting the ball into space.
Two-man lift taken off the top, but lost backwards. Glad that player is okay. Good support work from the prop. Now Wakavesi gets the ball away. They'll look to reset. Great offload from St. Mary's, and they're off and running again.
Yeah, again, finding space.
Big crunching run from the second rower. That's Coakley. Coakley gets it. Wakavesi, good hands. The 13 gets the cheeky kick over the top. That's Starty with a great bounce.
I think it's out on the full.
And it does. They will come all the way back to the point that is kicked. So the ball, when kicked outside of your own 22, must take a bounce before going into what we refer to as the touch line or the sideline. That ball going out on the full without bouncing, so it is a penalty now, and BYU will have the line out. This may be the chance they were looking for. Inside of the St. Mary's half, with the ball and a lot of field to work with. Lineouts and scrums so crucial because it forces the entire forward pack to be in one place. That ball taken high off the top from the number 4, Clintworth. Good pressure defense again, cleaned up by the captain, number 8, Austin, as he drives forward. This St. Mary's line defense has been impressive, Tosh. It's been the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, they really have. They're just smothering the BYU backline there. And that's when you saw this one was knock-on advantage, of course. But Simu there, he's trying to make the offload. He's trying to find a bit of space, and there's just St. Mary's defenders all over him.
You can't do anything when the defense is right on you, and it's been that line speed that's been the difference. They haven't had to do anything spectacular on offense. A couple of quick inside balls, a couple of offloads that are the difference on the scoreboard right now, but it's really that defensive line speed and communication that has done the difference for St. Mary's. So now BYU right on midway with the feed on this scrum. 31 minutes into this half, 19-0, St. Mary's up over the Cougars, and some more jockeying for position as Khalil Harrison, our head referee, looks at all of the technical minutia of lining up that front row. shoulder angle, engage angle, arm position, waist height, shoulder height, all things that head referee has to look at, and all things that you can hide as a tactically skilled front rower that you can adjust. Ball comes in for BYU, holding at the back. They come to the right side. Skip ball over the top, that's lost.
Oh, missed pass taken by St. Mary's.
Toya Val might go all the way off the missed pass, and he does. The big splashdown finish. It was the skip pass from Semu trying to find Belknap on the outside. So Semu had the gap and read it right, tried to throw the ball over the top to Belknap. As we wait for the replay here, you see Semu with it. There's the missed pass, threw it right behind him, and then you see Toya Val with just the presence and hand speed, foot speed and hands to be able to take the big splashdown finish into the try zone, and fired up our St. Mary's. BYU and the fans here in the stadium absolutely reeling with another score before halftime, 24-0 with the conversion still to come. Did you see this turning out this way in the first half in any way in the build-up to this game?
I really didn't. I thought it would be much more of an arm wrestle at this point, but really what's been the difference is you've got St. Mary's, and this was just another perfect example of this, St. Mary's taking advantage off of a lot of BYU errors.
With a very young team for BYU, the pressure was going to be a lot to manage. Through the first 20 minutes, the Gales were able to hold the lion's share of it.
Yeah.
So if we look at all of the different miscues that BYU has had, we're talking missed tackles, we're talking all of the different lineouts that have been missed, the pressure on the mauls, the turnovers that we've all had at the breakdown, as we see one here. The offload and the knock out of bounds. If we look at this knock on here, the rip in the tackle, not able to maintain possession. And that was inside the 5-meter line. The missed ball over the top on the line out. These are simple things that you need to have to do to maintain possession, playing the ball off of the ground if you're BYU. There's lots of different things that are just technically sound that the mentality hasn't been there quite yet for BYU. As we get restarted on play here, St. Mary's has the ball and will look for the clearance kick. Wakavesi able to get that ball away. And again, another moment managed with BYU initially able to drive into the 22, but they haven't spent a whole lot of time there.
No, not at all.
So,
yeah, and this was something that we talked about as one of the keys to the game for BYU was having a high rugby IQ. And all these mistakes really isn't helping them do that. St. Mary's, on the other hand, they've just done all of the little things right. They've done exactly what they need to do, and the scoreboard's showing it.
Minimize your mistakes and exploit your opponents. It is Sport 101, that ball taken by BYU off at the top. Now they'll look for some space. Semu goes forward, that ball on the ground. St. Mary's may have it, knocked backwards. And then knocked again on the ground by the number 7, Keoshi. So that ball was stolen cleanly initially, knocked backwards, says the head referee, and then right on the ground on the next ball, I believe, is when he says it was knocked on. Nope, sorry, we'd have to go back one more phase. So now, again, right near midfield, here's BYU with another feed on their scrum, but not able to mount anything with it. When you talk about rugby IQ, if you're that 10 in this position, you have to have some kind of practiced set piece that you can play here to make a run at the goal line and to apply some pressure. They come short side. Nice show and go from the number 10, Perry. Release, says Harrison, and they do. The ball gets away. Austin with the drive forward.
Oh, stolen.
Stolen well by St. Mary's. Picked up and put back down safely. St. Mary's look to go short side. Ball driven deep and low. This could be a great kick,
isn't it?
A great kick from Maudlin. And that will be a 50-22, I believe, with the driving low kick. The fullback was up on the attack and not able, as we watch this ball set up, right in the pocket, the low driving kick. Takes a bounce outside the 22, inside the 22, and what a great, great low driving kick. The IQ and the angle on this to know that the fullback was up and in the tackle and that space was out there to take that shot. Now in the waning minutes, under 4 minutes to go in this half, St. Mary's with a big, tall take off the top. And a drive to the inside. There's Bisak again. The captain driving the hard yards. He's just 7 meters out. That ball on the pitch. And that may be a knock-on for St. Mary's. It is. Bisak had the line, drove from just inside the 22, excuse me. There's Bisak finding the ground, and I believe it'll be knocked on by the next arriving player. That ball comes out right there and is knocked on as he steps over it.
Yeah, I think it's not releasing there by St. Mary's.
Inside ball again. St. Mary's looking for that inside ball. They see something in this BYU defense with them not shifting to cover that A gap.
Yeah, and something else that we didn't see when we were watching the replay. BYU failed to find touch again.
An unbelievable offload as Keoshi goes in for another score. He takes a bow before the score, and I believe that was one of the front rowers. If we look, Bisak gets the ball away. Watch the arm come out right here from the second rower, finds the hooker, finds the prop, finds the flanker, and it's Keoshi at the hands of some great offloading from these forwards. The wide angle here of Keoshi with the score. The cheeky bow right before he dots it down in what's been a very clinical half of rugby for St. Mary's. 31-0. Gales over the Cougars right now, and the conversion right in front of the sticks. With just 2 minutes before the half, the Gales are pouring it on.
Yeah, absolutely dominating in this first half.
Kick is up and good. 33-0. In our preparation and lead up to this match, with 4 different players for St. Mary's featuring on Scott Lawrence's international under-20 side as they build up to the World Challenge, with 2 of those players in that under-20 squad featuring on the BYU Cougars team, with all of the award winners for Player of the Year and Man of the Year, the nominees that are on this pitch. I never thought that we'd have a 4-score differential on the scoreboard right now. St. Mary's just absolutely clinical in the way that they have attacked this BYU defense.
Yeah, well, St. Mary's came to play here. You can see it on their faces, the energy that they're bringing into the tackle, into these passes. They're not messing around today.
The inside ball from Wakavesi to Bisag has been an absolute nightmare for the BYU defense, and Wakavesi going to it again there. Unlucky not to be able to hold on to the ball. So now BYU, in the waning minutes of this first half, will have a scrum with a lot of green grass to work on. There is nobody to the far side of the field as you look at it on your screen. Everybody is spread out to the left for BYU. Scrum gets set. Big push from St. Mary's, stolen against the head. And they pick it up off the blind side. It's King Matsu, gets it away to Toyavao. Nobody's there. Toyavao still on his feet, looking for the offload, gets it away to the number 6, that's Abis. Picked again by Matsu. Ball hits the turf. Tried to be towed away. And they'll say hands on the ground again from BYU. It is the number 8, Ben Austin, the captain, trying to do something to marshal anything for his team. That ball not taken well into the breakdown. The offload here, I believe this is Matu to the number, or no, Toyavao to the number 6. And then you see the attempt from the captain there, right where he puts his hands on the ground before he hits goes for the ball, and that's where the foul is drawn from Austin. So an attempt for 3 points now with time essentially gone here, and another 3 points possibly on the score here with the penalty. Of course, with the penalty, you have the option to kick for touch or kick for the 3 points. And 3 of 4 on kicks today. Standing over it is Starty. Good boot, it has the length, just wide left. And that, I believe, will do it for halftime here in Provo. St. Mary's Gales leading the BYU Cougars. Your score as it stands, 33-0. We'll be back with our analysis of the first half on the way next here on the Rugby Network.
that stretches beyond your current team. A legacy built on the backs of those who came before you with hard work. And for those who will come after you, we promise it won't be easy. But we'll be there, supporting you on and off the field.
And they come forward through Russell, and Ollie Lawrence finishes the job.
Russell struggled with last week against Bath.
Burgess, she's done it before, she's doing it again.
Dupria and the captain will run it in for Sale.
The pinnacle of collegiate rugby, the CRAA.
He's over the line.
The premier divisions in men's and women's collegiate rugby.
Is she in? Yes, she is.
An unparalleled student-athlete experience, keeping the game true to its roots while engaging with academic institutions and alumni.
No one is going to stop him.
The College Rugby Association of America.
He's going in for the try.
Elevating the game, empowering the student-athlete.
Is your free destination for all your rugby content needs, including free live streaming of Major League Rugby matches, international matches, CRAA matches, highlights, weekly rugby shows, and exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Sign up today for free at therugbynetwork.com. It is halftime here in Provo, Utah from Southfield as the BYU Cougars take on the St. Mary's College Gales. The score, 33-0, St. Mary's over BYU. I am Jared Banks alongside Tosh Wilcox. In what has been an incredibly one-sided match, can BYU rise to the occasion in the final 40? Can they make sure that this moment is the one? We'll see. Coming up here in the second half now, a video presentation for you that we like to call This Is the One.
You know, these are the best teams in the country. You know, we were blessed to be selected for this. You can't get better than this.
This is legit. Like, this is a legit facility, and we're really excited to be here.
This is the one. It's nationals. It's your USA Collegiate Rugby Nationals, and you'll see the best teams from our division especially coming to this tournament.
We wanted to come to this tournament because we knew other teams were going to be here that we wanted to compete with.
It's cool to be out at a rugby facility on a rugby weekend where you've got men's and women's 15s and 17 teams. It's just really cool opportunity just to see the rugby community come together on a weekend like this.
This is the one. It's the national championships. It's the top teams. This is a great tournament. I came in here on Wednesday morning and almost brought a tear to my eye because I've been involved in rugby in this country since '99. And I remember coming to tournaments or coming to sevens tournaments, and you'd see all these soccer fields, and then rugby lines would be made to work on the soccer fields. And you come down to a true rugby facility with a professional rugby stadium, and, you know, the Lord can take me now.
I love the energy. I love that it's like so upbeat. There's so many people that you can meet, like different experiences, and I'm just really lucky that we all get to be here as a team, so I'm really excited for that.
Fields look great, everything's managed super well, so I'm just excited.
It's kind of mind-blowing. I honestly didn't think that second year into this we'd be here, but it's definitely an experience that none of us will ever forget.
This is the one!
I
use Thorn products pre and post workout to maximize my recovery, muscle growth, make sure that I can be my best self on the field.
Thorn's a supplement company that I can trust. They're NSF certified for sport, so I know that I can take this and know what's in their product.
I use their protein, get my muscles nice and big.
The products I use with Thorn have minimal ingredients, they're high quality, they're clean, they're batch tested, tastes amazing, and it made everything in my recovery and my performance better.
If you're not recovering off the pitch, you're not your best self on the pitch. Thorn gets me there.
When you pick up a ball, you also pick up a legacy. A legacy that stretches beyond your current team. And built on the backs of those who came before you with hard work and discipline. And to those who will come after you, we promise it won't be easy. There will be days when you feel like you want to quit. When you're in the cold, in the rain, and in the mud. On those days, we will be there when you need it most.
Major League Rugby, supporting the USA Rugby community, now in its 7th season as a professional sports league representing the highest rugby competition in North America. We are live in the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains. The Y on the side of the hill means that we are at Southfield, BYU, as the Cougars take on the St. Mary's Gales. I am Jared Banks alongside Tosh Wilcox, as the players on the field are ready for the second half to resume. Let's run through the quick highlights of the scoring here in the first half. With the Gales up 33-0 over BYU, it was all St. Mary's, and that inside ball from Wakavesi has been so deadly. He's been so elusive with his hands, gets the ball away to Bisak, and then the quick scoop and score from Bisak to open the scoring. The conversion on that kick was good. The build-up again, it was a clinical line-out and maul forward with the number 8, King Matsu, on the end of that drive, then the inside ball again. And this opened the floodgates. Toi Avau gets the ball away, and a big fend for the first of a couple from Keoshi. Keoshi able to get the ball away, and then Toi Avau off the scoop and score on the miscue, the big splashdown, then another drive. And this was a fantastic interplay between the forwards for Keoshi's next try, and the little cheeky bow before the finish. And then just before halftime, another score and the kick good. It's been great from Mario Stardy with the boot. He's 4 of 5 in the first half here on Southfield. BYU taking on St. Mary's NCAA Division I action. Head referee Khalil Harrison has us ready to go. BYU in the blue and white, kicking to St. Mary's to start this half. BYU needs to find an answer and needs to find it in buckets full to manage the moments that St. Mary's has applied to them. And that clearance kick off of the restart, taken and cleared well by St. Mary's, kicked deep into the BYU half. Wyatt Perry, the number 10 for BYU, was there, almost held up in the wind. So now BYU, their first chance to clean up what has been an up and down moment from the set piece. I'm Jared Banks alongside Tosh Wilcox. The adjustments for the half, Tosh, BYU is going to need to minimize their mistakes, right?
Yeah, that's going to be just one of the many things that they're going to need to change if they want to get back into this game. For St. Mary's, it'll be just more of the same. Just keep doing what you're doing. You saw in the highlights, doing everything right, and BYU is going to need to turn around a lot of things.
We talked about rugby IQ, and they need to find that spark to drive forward, and that may start with the number 7, Vaitoi. BYU able to get the line-out ball in clean. This is the third phase. Driving forward is Barker. Now the ball comes out to the number 10 being really active. That's Perry. This ball skips into touch on the missed pass.
Yeah, forward pass there.
Fontaine and Perry both really active in that interplay as the 9 and 10, what you would like to see. But the missed ball on the outside, the gap was there. in the attempt to find the space as we get ready for a St. Mary's scrum here and their first chance to go on the attack. The World Rugby Shop is the official sponsor of the CRAA Bowl Championships. If you are on the hunt for a one-stop shop for all things rugby, check out worldrugbyshop.com, where they love to connect you with the sport you love. worldrugbyshop.com. Scrum gets in and clean. Ball comes out for St. Mary's, into the back line. Wakavesi finds the outside, has space. Toyavau on the far side. Gets the offload back to the inside. Big fend, desperation tackle. They're about 13 meters out. Wakavesi with the jab step, shakes one, has a gap to the inside. Can he go all the way? They're gonna come back and say obstruction?
Yeah, looks like it.
In rugby, of course, you can't lead block the way you can in American football. You must have a clear path from the tackler to the ball carrier, and Wakavesi, I think, just on that jab step as we watch the inside right here, runs right behind his number 14, Pongi. And that little obstruction is quite literally the penalty call there, and not able to convert for the score. So BYU catching a break with Wyatt Perry now standing for the clearance kick. Kicks to the near touchline and into the stands for the fans. Hands go up high. Nicely taken by that fan over on the far side, taken cleanly.
Yeah, I think he failed to find touch on at least three kicks in the first half, so it's good to see him making that one right.
Manage the moments, right? Make sure you get touch. Don't worry about the extra meters. Maintain that possession. And BYU are going to need a lot of it with a 33-point deficit right now.
Another thing that they struggled with in the first half is the line out. So it'll be good to see if they can fix that as well right here.
They went with the short, low ball on the first line out that got them clean possession, not able to do anything with it after several phases. But now they'll discuss the situation. Ball comes in, taken cleanly now by the second rower. That was Clintworth. Bodies flying everywhere. That line speed for St. Mary's on defense has been fantastic. Great jab step from BYU. It was the 13, Campbell. Fontaine gets him reset. A jab step and a missed tackle. Now they need to drive forward and reset this ruck. BYU able to get platform. Looking right. Fontaine gets it to Perry. Semu on the outside. Defensive line resets. BYU needs to mount some shape now here on offense.
Yeah, they really do that. St. Mary's defense is just suffocating them.
The lack of different layers in the attack has been really a struggle for them. High ball now, challenge coming. No contact in the air, play on. Starty went up for it and just whiffed it. It went 5-hole. BYU has the ball back now. Fontaine to Perry. The big tight head has it now. Tennant going forward. Fontaine digs. They go short side of the field. Perry with the jab step, forced to try and throw a looping ball over the top. Semu gets the ball away.
Yeah, just puts that one into touch, but it looks like we've got a penalty.
As we look here, that knock on right there is what they're going to call. So the ball away, if Belknap was able to hold on to that, he may have been away for that first try. I don't think the knock-on was intentional in that, but that looping ball over the top from Perry and the knock-on is what has given BYU the advantage now in a big driving kick deep into the corner. This is where you need to really rally your forward pack. If I'm my 9 and 10, guys, focus. Get a clean ball in. Look for one of those big, tall second rowers. Look for Tennant, look for Kentworth, or look for the number 8, Austin here, and put a big drive on. If I'm BYU, I want to look for probably Barker, and then get Austin on the back of this ball at the back of the maul and drive this ball in. Tapped and taken away.
First, yeah.
Great defensive line out from St. Mary's, and they have the ball. They'll reset to try and clear the ball out. Wakavesi with the big tackle right on the 5-meter. He's tackled. They'll look to clear this ball out the back of the try zone.
Oh,
batted and out the back. Great charge down from BYU. This may be the momentum shift that they're looking for. Finally, the ball bounces their way. It's the big second rower. Barker gets his hands up and bats that ball out the back of the try zone. So now a very advantageous scrum. BYU with the ball, 5 meters out. This has really been the one bright spot for BYU.
Yeah.
Being able to manage and maintain. They only lost the one scrum against the head. They've been able to maintain possession here. And with Ben Austin standing at the back, can you hold here and maybe get Ben with a little pick on the short side to catch the defense sleeping, or do you play out to space? Hammer, Belknap, Campbell, Semu, all waiting. Big scrum, tense moments. You can feel the energy here in the stadium. BYU fans feel like this may be the moment that the seal gets broken. Can they get on the board?
Well, and if you're BYU, it really needs to be. They've been in this area of the field for so little time during the game, and now they've got this good opportunity. If you're BYU, you've got to capitalize.
You have to sit on your fundamentals here if you're the front rower. Don't let the emotions get the best of you. Get a good, solid engage. It starts with Mahungia and Tennant on that front row. Tennant, the tight head prop, has to get a good engage. If he can get his opposite number shifted just ever so slightly clockwise as we look at it here on camera, that's going to open up the field for Austin off the back and put the entire forward pack on their heels and back into that corner. You want to shift this just 2 or 3 degrees tactically to the right. And that's a big counter shove from St. Mary's, but the ball comes out. Fontaine gets it to Perry. Perry shakes one. Picked off the back. Driving down forward towards the line. BYU needs to marshal. Forward pack picks it up. Tennant has it off the back. Now the hooker goes forward for the line. Has to clear out. There's the pick. Second rower goes forward on the line. Harrison standing over it, and he's going to say held up.
Held up.
Heartbreak for BYU. It was great work from the forwards. The second rower, I believe it was Clintworth that went over the top with it and held up. No, excuse me, it was Barker. As you watch the ball get picked off the back, he rolls, and the defender is able to get his body under the ball right there and hold that ball up to keep the try scorer, the potential try scorer, Jake Barker, from putting downward pressure on that ball into the try zone. As you watch the ball right there get held up, no pressure able to be attained. And now St. Mary's clears the ball out to the middle of the field, not able to find touch. A lot of one-up running. The 2 and 3, the forward pack. It's Pena and Tennant doing a lot of work. They get set. Fontaine picks it up, goes over the top, finds a gap. St. Mary's on their heels. And we will come back, no advantage gained. And we'll come back to hands in the ruck with the attempted steal. So the ball picked up and goes over the top. Great work from the little scrappy number 9, Fontaine, able to work his way through and over. And he'll try and put his team in a good position for another line out and maul. This is Rugby 101 now. You get in this attacking situation, you're down big, Tosh. You would just tell your team, guys, let's execute the basics at an elite level now and get something positive out of this game.
Yeah, exactly. And first step, you got to win this line out. When they were here a minute ago, they didn't get the line out, so they couldn't drive like they're doing now.
Short, quick throw, smart play. They get the maul formed, have a good first drive. St. Mary's matched well. Driving forward, now it's to the ground. And St. Mary's may... Nope, they're going to say St. Mary's pulled the ball down in the maul. So when the maul is formed, once the opposition force is there, you cannot drag that ball carrier to the ground. You have to maintain the weight. Khalil Harrison saying that St. Mary's actually pulled that to the ground. It was, I believe, the number 8, King Matsu, who was able to try and muscle his way in there. It was good work to get into the middle of that maul and disrupt the ball, but you must support your own weight. So now BYU, another line out. Higher throw, and here comes another maul. The loose head. Mahungia waits. Big drive. The number 8 driving for it. Fontaine gets the ball out now, looking for space. They need to get through the hands. There's daylight on the outside. Has to get it away. One more. The 11 into the outside. And Mendenhall opens the scoring for BYU. That was the clinical buildup that we've been waiting for from BYU, Tosh.
Exactly, yeah, they did everything right. They were patient with the maul, sucked in the defenders, and then moved the ball out. Nothing too fancy, just hands, just moving it through the hands to get the try there.
First it was to Campbell, and then Hammer, and then on the outside to Mendenhall. Here's the offload from Hammer to Mendenhall. Hammer just got destroyed, but that's what you have to do as the fullback, is to be able to get that ball into the hands of your playmakers. And the coach is happy with that, finally seeing something for their efforts. Come on, boys, let's go. The execution of the fundamentals and the basics of the game at a high level is the difference between good teams and great teams. And I think we're seeing that on the scoreboard right now. We said that BYU was going to need a full pull for 80 minutes to get it done. St. Mary's obviously applying all the pressure in this match, but BYU now have something to hold their heads on and to build on with still 25 minutes left of rugby. There's a lot of football still to be played.
Yeah, exactly. And another thing that's so great about this St. Mary's defense is it took the BYU team so long to score. You know, it's not a quick score and a quick turnaround, but they held their ground there.
Conversion is good for BYU. 33-7 is the score, and we will step aside for a quick break.
We got the hits.
We got the kicks.
Oh God, that looks way too good.
The passes.
The athletes. And the fans.
We got the pride. And the passion. All we need is you.
From South Field in BYU territory, this is Cougar Nation, and the St. Mary's Gales are really chasing the tail of that cat all over South Field right now. After the restart, BYU finally on the board. Your score right now, Gales 33, Cougars 7. A quick restart and a clearance kick, and St. Mary's have the ball off the line out. Wakavesi gets the ball away. Tackle made. Good fend. Perry has to make a tackle. Maudlin gets the ball away, and a knock on.
Yeah, rare error from the Gales there.
They've been so clinical. King Matu, the number 8, he's been a dynamic playmaker for this team, especially on defense when they've needed his physicality. He's been in and around the rucks being a disruptor. They've looked for that inside ball several times, and he just wasn't able to hold on to it. You can see he knows, hugging it like a warm water bottle on a cold winter night. Hanging on to that, thinking missed opportunity. So now the ball goes to touch off of the penalty, and we'll have a BYU line out. Can they continue to build on the structure and the stability that they've had? That's a nice high ball on the line out. Everybody standing a little flat. And a break for BYU inside the 10-meter line. Fontaine gets it away. It's into the hands of, it looks like the fullback, Hammer. Now Pena. King Matu trying to dig. Ball's on the ground, comes to the right side. Ruck gets set right in front of the sticks. Pick and go from the big tight head. They go again over the top. It's the loose forward, number 6, Clark. There's good work from Barker. They pick and go again. This is good work from the forwards, good patient rugby, good physical supportive rugby. They have to continue to set these rucks and clean the opposition off the ball. These forwards want it. They are hungry. This is type 5 work at its finest. Big drive forward for the number 3, Tennant. Does he get it down? He does! That's the build-up that you want to see your team reset. When you struggle, get back to foundational rugby. 33-12 now the score, and BYU answering in this half. It was all forward work, and it all started with Tennant. The big break got him through inside of the 10-meter line, and then a quick gap from Fontaine, and then it was Tennant. It was Pena. It was Mahungia. And in the end, all it took was Tennant and a big extra effort. The tongue sticks out. Go ahead. You earned that one, big fella. Get a bit of meat on your plate. Gotta love to see the big boys score.
Yeah, this has been a huge shift in the second half for BYU at least. They've got the line out sorted out, and they're being really patient here.
This is the type of, when we say rugby IQ, the things that we're talking about, mentally knowing where you are on the field and what type of rugby you need to play to be able to capitalize on your position and your possession.
Yeah.
With the conversion still to come, St. Mary's 33, BYU 12, as we wait on this kick. Kick is up and good, and we will step aside for a quick break and come back with the restart here on the Rugby Network.
He's going in for the try. Fakes everyone out. This is the one.
These are the best teams in the country.
It is going to be a barn burner.
This is the one. It's the national championships. It's the top teams.
Will she get this one? And yes, she will. Can't be stopped. This is the one. Is she in? Yes, she is. I'm a legend. Pandemonium on the field.
Players being attended to, that is the try scorer, James Tennant, the tight head prop. He had that knee taped pregame, came over after warm-ups and cut it off. Had a conversation with the trainer about not needing it, but then maybe tweaking something in that extra effort. He had to go over the top of another defender and plant that left leg hard. He's strapped up and ready to go. Restart underway, taken high into the Provo sky. BYU takes it clean, and a driving kick. Doesn't get a lot of length on it. Just enough pressure eased. About 15 meters inside of their own half, BYU will go on the defense. St. Mary's now with a line out. So, Tosh, 33-14 is the score. There's still a pretty big gap, but St. Mary's needs to find a way to answer the momentum that BYU's building up. How do you respond?
Well, you respond by getting this line out right first.
And a big miscue off the top. Commentators cursed there. It was Coakley. Came out of his hands. BYU has it. Here we go with BYU now, trying to mount something. That line speed for the defense of St. Mary's still coming up hard. Perry with a good line through. Ruck gets reset, stolen by St. Mary's. St. Mary's has that ball at the bottom. That's a great counter-rucking win. St. Mary's now going forward, just inside of halfway. They go short side of the field to reset and find a gap down the outside. One to beat, and it is Josefa Toiavau getting caught in the middle, gets the offload off the ground. Ball still rattling around. St. Mary's with the clean out. They come back to the short side. Wakavesi, the 10, been so good for his team in this game. Big drive over the top and not rolling away on the defense.
Yeah, BYU attempting the steal there, but just not getting it right.
BYU had possession, lost it on a big counter ruck right here with that ball going over the top, placed down, and picked up quickly by, I believe that was the number 6. And then the line break down the far side.
Yeah, here it is right here. Really nice step right here.
That quick left foot inside step. Incredible work from Josefa Toiavau. And then the scrambling defense. He was able to get the offload away, but not able to score it. So now St. Mary's will elect, I believe, for the scrum right in front of the sticks. A split field and some decisions to make. This is where you can really test your defense in an incredible way. Substitutions coming on for both teams.
And Jared, one of the things you talked about was how is St. Mary's going to respond to this? And this is exactly what you just saw. You need your big game players to do big game things. And that's what the St. Mary's winger just did.
Toyavao has been involved in almost every scoring opportunity that they've had in some way in the build-up, whether it was the line break or the offload. He has contributed significantly in this match, showing why he was one of our players to watch. Scrum gets set, waiting for it to be stable before the ball is fed in. Not seeing what he likes here from these front rowers. St. Mary's, as this game has gone on, has gotten stronger and stronger in the scrum. BYU needs a big hold here. Don't be surprised if this push comes in with the number 7, Keoshi now at the back of that scrum. Takes the left side of his back row. They're gonna try and turn this, and he picks and goes to the right. Gets the offload to Wakavesi. Wakavesi shakes one, big flick to the outside. The 13, Starty, gets it down. And that is just a clinical score. It started with Keoshi off the back. Picks gets the offload away to Wakavesi. Wakavesi with the fend and the backdoor pass.
Beautiful
and then
pass there. Just
a simple finish. It was all off of Wakavesi there with the pass right into the hands of Starty. Or excuse me, not Start. Yes, Eric Starty. Now is opposite. Brother from another mother. Well, same mother. That almost worked. Starty scores it, and now Starty will try and kick the conversion here with a answered score, 38-14. St. Mary's Gales over the BYU Cougars, another substitution. And a bit of a fun storyline for us here. Seone Ofa takes the field, son of Vea Ofa and a Utah local, grew up playing high school right here for the Brighton Bengals. Elected to play his college rugby for St. Mary's and substitutes on the field. He'll see his first minutes since playing college rugby back in his home state. Mom and dad will be really proud.
Yeah, big moment for him and his family.
That kick goes wide left from Starty, so no good. The score as it stands, Gales 38, Cougars 14, as we get set for the restart.
And St. Mary's doing really well there to capture some of that momentum, taking some of the wind out of the BYU sails. They've sort of quieted down the crowd and the players here.
It does take the wind out of your sails when you get that momentum, you get a couple scores on the board, and then your opponent answers and just extends that gap again. For St. Mary's now, it's going to be about technically managing the minutes left in this game with under 18 minutes to go. That ball takes a bounce on the restart, cleanly from St. Mary's. Driving straight ahead is the second rower, Delzell. Now into the hands of Wakavesi. Gap over the top. Running rugby from the Gales, doing what they do best. They play that sideline to sideline style of rugby. The whistle blows again. And we might have a moment that may be a head clash on the two of them. We'll see some concussion protocols probably come into play here. I believe that's number 7, Keoshi, and number 13, John Campbell right here. Here's the step, and that is head to head.
Yeah, you hate to see that.
Keoshi and Campbell clashing cheekbones in the top of the head there with both these players being attended to. Keoshi goes holding his right shoulder, goes back to his feet. Our wonderful training staff and physiotherapists attending to all of these players, keeping them in the best shape they can be. Of course, an incredibly physical game. No pads, no helmets, all grit. So he'll rejoin his teammates and have a talk there. Heads clear. Protocol all cleared there for Keoshi. Good to see him back on his feet. John Campbell as well. That ball kicked high into the Provo sky. Taken by BYU, not finding touch on the restart. Big counter run. That's great work from the number 10, Perry. BYU needs to start playing quicker here now. Fontaine with it. They get into the hands. Skip ball over the top. That's forced to be picked up off the dirt from Mendenhall.
Looks like they were playing with penalty advantage too, though.
And a tackle up over the shoulders, I believe, is what head referee Khalil Harrison is saying. So any tackle at chest height or above is considered a dangerous tackle. We used to call those high tackles back in the day, but they've changed it to a dangerous tackle now because it's not necessarily contact with the head. A great kick from Perry for touch. And now BYU back in another attacking position. Just outside the 22, so a lot of meters still to make here. As we get a good look at our St. Mary's head coach right there. taking analysis of all of the things that his team has done, such a great rugby mind and the things that he's been able to build into this program. You know, St. Mary's typically was a sevens program for a long time, taking shades and living in the shadow of great set piece work through the hands for BYU. Taking shade, living in the shadow of one of their other California Bay Area natives. But now the rise of this 15s program under Coach Tim's tutelage has been incredible, and you can see the quality of the rugby they play. BYU now has it in the hands of Perry. Gets it out into Semu. Semu looking for a gap, has the big number 8, Ben Austin. Austin gets it back inside to Campbell. There's Barker. Barker been working hard this second half to try and muster his troops. Ball finds the outside. Takes a skip for Vaitoe. Good run from Vaitoe. Gets the ruck reset. Fontaine works to the inside. Great offload to Barker. Barker could go. Shoestring tackle. Barker gets reset. They come back to the near side. Perry gets it off. Ball comes away and then steps into touch. It was almost on for BYU. Sammy Monga on the receiving end of that. He was one of the first players out earlier today warming up. You see this great break from Barker. Shoestring tackle here, desperation stuff. Able to recycle and get set. They go to the right side, and then it's over the top of Austin and right into the hands of Monga as he steps into touch. Just ran out of real estate on that side. So we've got a player down and being attended to. Maybe cramps becoming a factor here.
Yeah, getting into this later stages of the game, we're starting to see some of the substitutions, so that'll be interesting to see how those players come on and impact the game.
Is Coakley getting stretched out by his captain Bisag there to get that calf muscle to let go a little bit?
It's a good captain right there.
It's the man you want to be your captain, a guy that's willing to come over and stretch you out in those key moments when you're down on the ground, and that muscle is just screaming at you for help. Line out now. They go right back to him. Delzell. They hold off the back of the maul. Now they look to break into space. Good tackle from BYU. Forced now to make the clearance. Low driving kick. Straight into touch, but inside the 22, so that will work in BYU's favor now. This is a chance to go on the attack. 14 minutes left in this match. You're really playing for pride. Can you get your young players and your substitutes here some minutes of quality rugby against a quality opponent and build up something that you can grow towards? We look at the coaching staff here talking about exactly probably what we are here. What can we do now to make these adjustments and build on the momentum we've had? 14 points against the quality St. Mary's team is nothing to snuff at with a young team like BYU has. Now a lot of space to work in. Fontaine to Perry. Gets the ball out to Semu. That line speed from St. Mary's has been crucial, and they've won that against the head. Ruck stolen by St. Mary's. They're going to say BYU will win the penalty here. And I think it was offsetting, counteracting penalties here as we look at the counter ruck. Wakavesi goes in, and then that from the side, not entering the gate, I believe, initially on that counter ruck is what Khalil Harrison is going to say. So a scrum now for BYU in a crucial situation. Under 13 minutes to go. Can your young players, still a very potent back line here, but you've got a lot of young players in your forward pack. Can they manage a stable scrum and give some kind of platform to build attack on?
Yeah, and I think what you said earlier is absolutely right. I think for BYU at this point, it might be too little too late. But this isn't just a one-off game. You know, both of these teams are building into the playoffs. And so for both teams, they're going to want to finish the game well so they can keep up that momentum into the end stages of their seasons.
A lot of work still left to do. 12.5 minutes on the clock, plus whatever injury and stoppage time, which thankfully there hasn't been much of in this match. Whatever's on head referee Khalil Harrison's watch. Fontaine waits into the hands of Perry. Perry gets it straight into Hammer. Hammer puts the hammer down into contact. Jab step forward. Good team tackle from St. Mary's. No advantage gained. Now it's Fontaine with a jab step forward. Finds a bit of space. They'll need to reset this. Still scrambling at the ruck. Stolen by St. Mary's. That's another win at the breakdown for St. Mary's, attacking that defensive ruck and winning the ball back. And now they've won the penalty. Not rolling away. So you see the win against the ruck there, and I believe that may be Keoshi at the bottom of that ruck that won it. And then not playing the ball, or playing the ball off your feet there with the one player had his knee down. The BYU player had his knee down and reached over to try and interact with the ball from St. Mary's. So that's what the penalty is here. And another moment for another injured St. Mary's player as he takes a knee. Looks like that left shoulder, type 5 player. I believe that's the second rower, Kyle Clintworth. No, excuse me, John Wilson. So now we're ready to go. Penalty kick for touch on the not rolling or playing the ball off your feet. And St. Mary's now on the attack just inside their own half, so a lot of green grass to work with. They've been dangerous with that inside ball from Wakavesi all day long. Do they look to go to that again?
Yeah, they haven't really had as much attacking opportunities as they have in the first half, so it'll be interesting to see if they go back to that.
They'll need to get clean line-out ball. BYU done a better job of disrupting the line-out in this half. They go to the back of the line-out. Stolen again by BYU. So now the Cougars will look to build on the attack. Fontaine gets the ball into the big number 20. Now the ball comes out to the back line. Jab step inside, a little show and go. There's space down the outside, gets the offload away. The grubber through, but there's 3 Gales back to cover.
I believe it was a knock-on.
They're going to say it was a knock-on.
Yeah.
Let's get a better look at this as Fontaine gets the ball away. Look at the great show and step through. Incredible work there. And then lost the ball. It was Campbell lost the ball forward and then was able to tow it forward. As we see Semu with a great show and step, defend, then looks for the support on the outside, has it in Campbell, and then Campbell just forced to lose that ball in contact, and I think he kicked the ball away. And he knew it, punching the turf at the end of that, a missed opportunity.
Yeah, an opportunity that they needed to take as well.
But better possession from BYU and better pressure from BYU in these final moments of this match. So just what you want from your substitutes. Come in, make a difference, be a spark, change the game for your team. There's that inside ball switch again. And obstruction being called for St. Mary's as these guys start throwing the ball around. It was Starty with the ball to the outside, and he knew he had the instruction, a little cheeky smile on his face as he got that ball away to Pongi. Right here you see Starty step right behind the player and then got the ball away to Pongi. And as the tackle was made, he came up smiling, and they both knew the obstruction was there the whole time. So now BYU with the kick to the corner. And this may be the chance that they're looking for. Under 10 minutes to go. Can you marshal your chance, as you see the St. Mary's head coach right there talk to his team quietly from the sideline, a little commentary about what he's seeing, what he's liked, and maybe what he hopes to see from his players in this situation. Long ball to the line out, missed ball for BYU, and a killer crucial moment in an attacking position on the 5-meter line. St. Mary's with it now, and they'll reset. Great thundering run from that big tight head prop. Ball skips to the turf, goes to Starty. Starty kind of whiffs on the kick a little bit and goes into touch. So a little moment managed there, but there may still be an opportunity on for BYU. 38-14, 8 minutes left to play here from Southfield in Provo. The visiting team with the lion's share of the work in the first half. It was 33-0, only the 5 points in it with the unconverted try for St. Mary's. BYU done a much better job of marshaling their play, putting the phases together and executing the basics. That ball taken nicely over the top. The number 18, Kaiser Matele. Now BYU goes short side. Barker fighting for every meter. Ruck is set. That's good platform. Big pick Over the top, does he score it? He does! And that's great work from the blindside flanker, Lilo Clark. Just knowing where the opposition was, and in this particular situation wasn't. You see, he takes a look up, goes right over the top with no one marking that post spot in the A gap, and just drives over his opponent for the score. And this BYU sideline is fired up. Where was this team in the first half, Tosh?
Yeah, I don't know. And this is one of the keys to the game that we keep coming back on, is that this team, they've been known to switch off a little bit either in the first half or the second half, and I think that's what we're seeing here. Great second half, really poor first half.
Clark with the energy for BYU. He's been a bit of a workhorse at the breakdown, just cleaning out rucks, doing a lot of the things that don't show well on TV, but show well for your teammates, and rewarded there with a try of his own. Conversion now still incoming, 38-19 with 2 points still to be had for BYU. Kick is up, and that's curling back around in the breeze nicely, absolutely laced through from Tayson Hammer. Mr. Consistent is what the coaching staff said about him all week long in practice. He just does all the little things that you want your fullback to do. He covers the field well, he supports his teammates, and now making conversions. St. Mary's Gales 38, BYU Cougars 21, with 6 minutes left on the clock as we get ready for the restart. Wakavesi steps up to it. High ball into the sun. Big lift taken nicely from BYU. Ruck gets set. Big crunching tackle, still on his feet. Vaitoe has been a workhorse for BYU in this game. So physical, the open side flanker. There's Clark, the try scorer now, as they reset. Fontaine with the box kick, high over the top. Big chases on their onside, BYU. Stardy takes the high ball. Crunching tackle from Worthington. They're right on halfway. St. Mary's have it. Ball goes to Kayoshi. Finds the offload to the outside. Ball rattles around on the turf. Play on, open play. BYU now back with possession. And a driving high ball puts St. Mary's on their heels. That ball lost backwards and lost again. That should be a knock-on for BYU and a big win. So here comes the momentum, Tosh Wilcox, for the BYU Cougars. Never say never, don't say it's over. You look at the high ball here, and then here's the knock-on right on the 10-meter line. Was given the benefit of the doubt on the first ball that went through his hands. He's been so good, Yosef Atoyaval, all game long, and then not able to make that high ball staring into the sun. I am not a fat lady, and I am not singing. This one is not over yet, friends. 38-21, BYU with the attacking scrum now. 9 meters from their own line. A split field, lots of room to play with, and a big chance to attack.
Yeah, what a tale of two halves. We've seen St. Mary's play so well, almost error-free in the first half, and then a few uncharacteristic errors have been popping up here and there in the second half, that being one of them.
And the tail of the tape here really has been, I think, the spark for BYU and their forwards coming in and making a huge difference. And that's going to be an uncharacteristic error from the captain, Ben Austin, with the knock-on at the back of his scrum. He went to pick that ball and drive around the outside of that scrum. We'll see that right here. He scoops in, and right here as he tries to go in and pick the ball up, you'll see him lose it right there off the back of the foot, and that's a knock-on as he tries to make that possession. Once the ball comes back past the locks, he's allowed to reach in and pick it up, and just not able to hold on to that. So St. Mary's now with the switch, and they will be happy to allow this clock to continue to tick away with no rush for anything now, and the lead on the scoreboard, 38-21.
Yeah, you can see how disappointed, or the look that he had on his face. You know, he just got a little over-eager, wanted to pick up the ball, go for the try, knocked it on in the process.
They may have won Maudlin may have won a cheeky offside penalty there. Excuse me, that was Wakavesi playing at the 9 position. He reached in, you'll see right here as he reaches in for the ball. He had his hands on the ball and then was taken by his opposite number, but that may be on the blind side of where the referee stood and called for the offside. So the penalty kick and clearance held up in the breeze there a little bit, so not a great kick for touch. 3 minutes left on the clock. 38-21. St. Mary's will have the throw here. And we may see a little old school kill the clock here with 3 minutes. Just as much as you can pick and drive in towards your own goal line, you can pick and go and kill the clock here for 2.5 minutes. But you got to get the ball in clean, and they don't. So now maybe BYU gets a switch back. As we wait for the referee's official call on what happened here. The smiles and banter from these players at this point. Electing now for the scrum, so BYU will have it. Fontaine waits with the ball. Maybe a chance now for some redemption for Ben Austin, the captain of this team. Missed his opportunity right in front of the sticks before. He waits again, takes his line on the outside of that scrum. Traditionally, the 8 holds on between the locks, holding on now between his flanker and his lock there on the left side of the scrum as you look at it. Here comes the ball out the back. Fontaine digs. They look for space. Looks for the inside ball. Campbell goes forward. Fontaine digs and comes back to the right. It's Vaitoe. Good run, ruck is reset. And won by St. Mary's. Holding on to it. The ball carrier never able to release the ball. It was Vaitoe at the bottom of that. Was never able to let go. He was wrapped up around the ball. So again, good work from those St. Mary's forwards getting in and stifling that momentum.
Yeah, really good there by St. Mary's to steal the ball back, get themselves out of their half. Yeah, and you can see as this clock is winding down, St. Mary's in no hurry to get to that line out. Just really smart rugby IQ.
You know, you have a grace period where you're not really killing the clock, but just taking your time with less than 60 seconds to go. That ball not straight into the line out, which is okay because that will take another 20, 30 seconds off the clock here as we head towards full time. A tale of two halves, you called it, Tosh, where BYU has really had the lion's share of the position and possession, and of course the score in this half being down completely in the first half, but 21 points in the second half for BYU and only the 5. If this team had showed up in the first 40, we'd be talking about a totally different outcome right now.
Yeah, no, I would have loved to see that game. Probably would have been a lot closer.
I think we still have a chance to see that kind of game, and that's going to be another knock-on. I believe no, not in straight, not engaging straight. So now taken by Fontaine. Vaitoe running straight again. Still on his feet. That's a great run from Vaitoe going sideways. 10 seconds left here on the clock. BYU looking to marshal something in the waning moments here. Barker over it. Fontaine goes to the short side, gets it into the hands of Perry. We will play through to probably at least the next dead ball. Maybe some additional time. Fontaine gets the ball out and goes over the top. Still working. This game will continue as long as there's possession. He's turned in the tackle. That ball sits. Worthington over it. Perry forced to go in and get it. Great step and offload. BYU still working. Barker has it now. Gets the offload away to Clark. Clark, the earlier try scorer. Ball spits out BYU side. There's Sione Ofa, the Utah kid from Brighton, able to pick that ball up for St. Mary's. Can he reset this clean? St. Mary's will want to just kick this ball out into touch. And that will be it. Full time on the dead ball. And your score from Southfield here in Provo, Utah, the St. Mary's Gales with the big win over the BYU Cougars. Your final score, 38-21 here in Provo, Utah. What an incredible and entertaining match. We will step aside for a quick break and be back with our recap and your man of the match. My apologies. We will stay here as we ramp around the thoughts from this match. A tale of two halves for BYU, a lot to build on in that second half. A young and fairly inexperienced team that needs these valuable minutes as they work towards a playoff run. A lot of sophomores and juniors on this team, many of them who only have picked up the game over the last couple of years. So for the coaching staff, for the ability to build on what they have here, a lot to take on. If you're St. Mary's, the first half clinic that they put on really was pretty spectacular. 33 unanswered points on the road against a tough BYU team. they're going to want to continue that momentum as we look down towards the playoffs and a run to the national championship. I think both of these teams are in contention to be able to go really, really, really deep into that playoff run and a chance for the national championship. So let's go down for thoughts on the match with St. Mary's head coach and our very own Tosh Wilcox. Tosh, how are you?
Great, thanks. Hi, I'm here with Coach Tim here. Tim, what does this big win mean for your team moving forward into the playoffs?
It just means we have a lot of momentum going into Cal next week.
Great. And what do you think of the match? What does this mean to you to have such a great win for your team?
Always a win against BYU is fantastic. As tough as of an opponent as you can play against, hands down, and for us to come out of the box pretty fast and furiously. I think it caught them by surprise. We scored enough points to escape with a win here, kind of a tale of two halves. So it's some good film to take a look at, and we need to be a little bit better next time we play.
Great, thank you. Appreciate it, Tim.
Okay, thank you.
Rounds of applause from the crowd as both teams salute the fans in the stands here. A bit downtrodden are BYU, but they should absolutely hold their heads up for the effort that they put in, and all props to the Gales for going over and acknowledging the fans here. Now with your man of the match, here is Tosh Wilcox with Josefa Tuiavau.
Hi, I'm here with Josefa Tuiavau here. Josefa, what does it mean, this big win for you and your team?
It's a big statement game for our program. Our boys yesterday set the tone coming into this game, so it's just a big statement game going into the rest of the games and into our playoffs.
And what do you make for the rest of the season? How do you see it all going?
I think it's setting up well for us. We're a strong team right now going into this final game against Cal and rolling into the playoffs. So we're looking good right now. We just need to fix up the minor things, and yeah.
Great. Well, hey, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, and you're the man of the match.
Thank you.
An incredible match from Tuiavau. A couple of tries, a couple of assists, and an incredible game of rugby. Thank you so much for joining us here live from Provo, Utah, and Southfield in BYU Stadium here. The final score, St. Mary's Gales 38, BYU 21. A big thank you to all of our production and support staff. On behalf of Tosh Wilcox, I am Jared Banks. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Rugby Network.